How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. If something is not working for you, either before you're quitting or after you've quit, when you're trying to build your new life, if it's not working out for you, if you find anything that's not working out for you, don't be afraid to dump it, I'll paraphrase something that Coco Chanel said, which was, don't keep beating your head against the wall, hoping that it'll transform into a door. Doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for different results. That's what Einstein called the, he said, the definition of insanity. Trying to do the same thing and do the same thing and repeat the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different outcome. It's not going to happen. I've given this example with my quitting smoking, where I tried, it seemed like 100 times to quit, and every single time I did, it was the same thing, trying the same thing, and then I do the same things afterwards, and it wouldn't be long before I was smoking again. So it was beating my head against the wall, hoping to transform it into a door. It was trying to quit smoking in exactly the same way and still going to the pub and hoping for a different outcome. It's the same when you quit drinking. If you quit and you still try and do the same lifestyle, you're beating your head against the wall and you're hoping to transform it into a door. You're performing the same, you're trying to go around the same behavior, you're trying to live the same lifestyle, but hoping for a different outcome, hoping that all of a sudden the cravings won't appear. Your drinking buddies are all there drinking and you're not, you're drinking water, but hoping, well, yeah, I can handle it, forever. It just doesn't happen like that. How do you get out of this one? How do you get out of repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again? You have to understand where you're going wrong, right? You have to understand what you're doing wrong, what you're saying wrong. What's happened in your life that has caused you to fail. And most of the time, you've got to break these things down. When you learn any skill, you've got to break it down into smaller and smaller chunks. And the smaller chunks that you can make it, the more understandable it is, and the more open you're going to be to seeing what went wrong. If you try and look at the big picture, sometimes you can't see what went wrong because you're looking at seeing things from such a height, so you've got to sort of zoom in on the problem. And let's take, for instance, cravings, right? When you get cravings, right? There's many different areas where you're going to get cravings, right? So you have to break that down first. So you have to say, well, I get cravings when I'm out, I get cravings when I'm tired, I get cravings when I'm grumpy, I get cravings when I'm at home. So take your cravings when you're at home and you say, right, what happens when I get cravings at home? What is the next thing that happens? So if you say, well, I get cravings at home and I immediately go to the fridge and I get out a can of beer because I can't stand the cravings, that's telling you something, right? What the fuck are you doing with beers in your fridge, when you're trying to quit drinking? So get rid of the beers, right? Or you might say, well, when I'm getting cravings at home, I start thinking a certain way, and then that thinking barrels out of control, and I find myself walking down the road and going to the off license and buying beers, Now, like I said before, there's plenty of different opportunities along that road to start talking yourself out of it, to start thinking yourself out of it, and if you can do it, break it down even further, when I'm getting cravings at home at night time, right? What happens then? Or I'm getting cravings at home on a Saturday or a Sunday when I'm off work, or I'm getting cravings at home when I'm bored. And these are all sort of the separate things, Cravings at home when you're bored is different to cravings when you're bored. Cravings when you're bored is a big, broad thing. It's like looking at something from 30,000 feet, and you've got to get in close and look at it. You have to break it down and say, I'm bored in a certain situation with certain people or whatever, and break them down into that kind of to that level. you know, you can take this same logical step-by-step approach to anything that you're doing in life. You know, after you've quit drinking, you know, when you're trying to build a new life for yourself, break down the things that you want to learn. You know, start from the high 40,000 foot view where you're saying, I want to make new friends that are outside of alcohol. I want to build a life that is outside of alcohol. Right? How am I going to do that? And then you break that down into smaller and smaller chunks, and you isolate those chunks and work on those chunks. You know, and it's, you know, when you're planning something and you're trying to get goals, you do the same thing. You get your goal, your end goal, and then you break that down into smaller and smaller chunks, and you work on the smaller goals. And if they're too difficult, if they're taking too long, you break those smaller chunks down into even smaller chunks and work on those. You know, progress is a great motivator. You know, once you get momentum and you gain momentum in your life, it's a lot easier to push yourself forwards and to gain more momentum and get self-confidence in yourself, get self-confidence in your own abilities. And that's what this is all about. You know, getting the self-confidence in your new life and realizing that your new life is better than your old life, that this new life where you're not damaging yourself anymore is a lot better than your old life. I'll leave it there. If you want to support the channel, go on over to patreon.com/alcohol mastery, and you can make a smaller donation as €2. You can also go over to the website. We've got plenty of courses over there for quitting drinking alcohol, step-by-step courses on how to quit drinking alcohol, how to prepare to quit drinking alcohol, and how to relax and de-stress once you've quit alcohol. We've also a new course coming out soon, which sort of encourages people to quit drinking for 30 days and try it on for size. You know, if you're afraid to step across that line and you have any fears at all about it, just, you know, try it on for 30 days. Quit drinking for 30 days and see what the results are. 30 days is not long. So that's coming out soon. If you're watching this a year after it's up, then it's out already, you know. It's already on the website. Anyway, take care of yourself. My name's Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Stay safe. Keep the alcohol out your mouth. Onwards and upwards. Take care. Good luck.